Hey guys, so this video is going to be getting this motor running. This is a 91 or 92 model. 1992 Briggs 3.5 horsepower. And it came off a tiller, one of them real small tillers, and I salvaged the motor off of it. It's got the 5 horsepower style carburetor on it. It's got the fuel pump on the side, so we're going to take the carburetor completely off and clean it. And it does have spark. That's not the right spark plug. I can pour a little gas or carburetor cleaner in there and it'll run on that, but it won't. It's not pumping the fuel. There's old gas in it too, so that's not helping. Try to get this thing running. It's the first thing we're going to do is pull the whole carburetor and gas tank off and go from there. So let's start taking it apart. Just want to start by taking the air filter and stuff out of it, just to give me more room to get to everything on here. I can't even remember what type of tiller this came off of. See, it ain't real old. Let's get the newer type filter on it. And we'll kind of look at the linkages here. It has an air vane governor. It's the governor spring. It needs replaced. See, this is the choke right here. This is where the throttle cable would hook. Might be able to get by with just changing the fuel pump and everything, but I just want to take it off and clean it. That way I know it'll be alright. So what I'm going to do, we should have a bolt down here. Yeah, right here. So right now I'm going to take this bolt out. Might go ahead and try to take the muffler off, make it easier to get to these bolts. Then we'll look at everything when it's off the engine, just to speed up the video a little bit. I just wanted to show you the linkages here. That should run in there to a plastic air vane governor. Okay, so I took the 2 screws out to hold the choke mechanism in there, just so I can get to the bottom bolt on the carburetor. And also took the muffler out. It's got a flange mount here. Just take the 2 screws out and it comes off that flange. You can remove that if you need to, but for this case I shouldn't have to. Slight chance I may have to take the shroud off just to get to the linkage if I need to unhook it inside, but I should be able to unhook it here. Once I get the tank loose, I should be able to twist it around and get that unhooked. Right now I got it loose, just that one bolt holding it on there. Also, another thing to note, you have a shut-off wire hooked onto this. All you got to do is push that tab in and your wire feeds through that. That holds the shut-off wire in place. Very similar to how the old push-mower engines were. So now we'll get ready to flush out the tank, and then we'll get back to you on taking the carburetor off. Okay, so I put the tank and everything in the vise here to make it easier to work on. You got several screws here. That one and that one held the choke lever on. You got one right here and one here. That should be all it is. Take them out and the carburetor will lift off the tank, and we'll look at it here. Just trying to speed things up on the video for you. Also note, I forgot to mention, there's one real long bolt here. It goes all the way down through there. I don't know why they did it like that, but once you get all the bolts loose, you may have to jar it a little bit to get the gasket to break. Then pay attention to your pickup tube here. You may have to wiggle it some to get it out. I just kind of broke it, but just chipped that corner. Not important. Alright, so I thought I had the right gasket in stock, but I didn't. But lucky enough, I just ordered me some gasket materials, so I made one out of cork. That's what that one's made out of. Not perfect, but it should work good enough. Got off a little bit right there and had to cut that out for the opening. But we're going to see if it's going to work or not. But I do have a carburetor kit for a 5 horsepower, and that's what this is, and the fuel pump part of it is the same. Slightly different, but it will work. So we're going to go ahead and do that. don't lose your spring and that metal right here. This is probably the main problem. As you see, the diaphragm is stretched pretty bad. So while this is apart, I'm going to get all this off of it and clean this up. And I'm going to shoot carburetor cleaner through every passage, as you can see, and make sure this pickup tube is clean. Make sure it can get through here. Take the mixture adjustment screw out too. Clean out all the passages that you can see. Make sure you got safety glasses on. So we'll get back to you here in a minute when we get ready to put it back together. Okay, so I got everything clean on the inside and out. Make it look a lot better. And you can see this is probably the problem why it wasn't pumping no fuel. It's very common on these. See it, the diaphragm made slightly different, but it is the exact same thing. The spring goes in just like that, and make sure it sits level. Make sure it lines up on that alignment thing there. You just want to get them all started. That way you can kind of move it around just a little bit to make sure the diaphragm's going through it. And these don't have to go very tight. I like to kind of put a little pressure on there. Just snug them. Go in the crisscross pattern. Okay, now the adjustment screw, I cleaned this one up pretty good. But if you see score marks or something on this end right here, you can kind of squeeze a piece of sandpaper and turn this on there and clean it. Or you can replace them. But usually you can just clean them like this. You want to run this all the way in till it barely bottoms out. Then back it out about 1.5 turns. I'm going to do 2 on this one, and we'll go from there, see what it's going to do. Now, the carburetor is pretty much ready to go back on. It's going to be kind of hard to show everything, but I'll show what I can here. The gasket on here. Now we'll get all the screws started here off camera, then we'll look at it here in a minute. Alright guys, I skipped a couple steps on you, but I'm trying to speed up the video here and just wanted to look at it here and get the muffler back on. I started changing it out to the cylinder type muffler, but I figured I'll just put that back on there for right now. But yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. I got to put some gas in it, check the oil, and we'll see what it's going to do. Probably have to pour a little gas in there to prime it. I'm going to change that spark plug out too. That's not the right plug for it. Alright, we're going to see what it does. Well, it seems to be running pretty good now. You notice I put that little spring right there just to keep the throttle from hitting the kill switch on there. That's the only reason I put that on there, so I don't have a throttle cable hooked to it. But seems to be running pretty good now. And if you got any, all I gotta do left now is put the air filter back on. I didn't show that, but if you got any questions or comments about this type of carburetor, feel free to leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.